Recently, I decided to take a look at the stats section of my blog. I found that SimCity on the Super Nintendo is the most popular blog to date. It is sitting at just under 5,000 page views. So thank you. So, as a result, I'm going to do a quick video about SimCity on the Super Nintendo. So, sit back and enjoy. So here we have SimCity on the Super Nintendo. I'm going to show you just a few tips and tricks how to get started and how to build an effective city. So, let's go ahead and push start, because that's what it's telling us to do. You have three choices. Obviously, we're going to start a new city. We're going to select a map, of which there are 1,000 to choose from, so if you want to take the time to look them up on the internet, go for it. I'm just going to go with the default one for now, and then of course I'm going to choose the name of my city. So let's go ahead and put in our city name, just like this. And then we're going to select our difficulty level. We're going to go with easy. Is this okay? Yeah. It's fine, believe me. So here we are, January of 1900. Here is our center point, and we're going to go just slightly below center and start our city right here. Sounds easy enough? Well, what does every city need? Electricity. You can choose from coal or nuclear. I'm going with nuclear. Why? Because it's cleaner. No pollution. So, let's go ahead and do industrial next, because that's what it tells us we need to build. So we'll build 3 industrial things and connect them to some power. And then here is the first tip. Railroad. Or road. Use railroad. Why? Because roads do nothing but create traffic jams and pollution. And there's our little train. Next up, we need some commercial. My advice: don't put residential areas right next to industrial areas, because nobody wants to live right next door to a factory. And then we will connect them with some power, as you can see. Now that we have that set up, I'm going to show you how to build donut blocks. The most important infrastructure of your city. Believe me. Donut blocks. As I mentioned, donut blocks are going to be the most important infrastructure of your city. I'm going to build a simple one right here, using residential to round out the rest of this particular block. As you can see, I have left an open space in the center where I can place park, or I can place one of the gifts that we will talk about later. I'm going to surround it with road. It's already connected to power, and it's ready to go. Let's go ahead, since we don't have any gifts at this point, and fill it in with some nice park. Simple. Donut blocking is going to ultimately cause you to generate more money. Money is good. You're going to generate more money based on the fact that this will cause the land value for all those surrounding properties to go up, which is a good thing. So buckle up and be prepared to make some money. Once you've got that out of the way, you can go ahead and just continue to wash, rinse, and repeat, as it were. That's right. Just continue building donut blocks over and over and over again, and before you know it, you'll have a fairly good-sized city. Now, of course, you're not always going to be able to build those donut blocks perfectly. Due to the restrictions of the terrain you're building on, you may run into some problems. But practice makes perfect, and that's why they have the bulldozer tool. let's go ahead and take a look at crime now. As you would assume, the bigger your city gets, the more crime will occur. That's why you gotta place police stations accordingly. But how do you know where your crime levels are at? Simple. Go to this green bar along the top and go to the fourth one over. This will bring up an information menu. Click on Map. Wait for it to open. And here's your crime rate. It's indicated on the bottom, the one with the knife and the gun. Areas in red indicate areas where you've got a lot of crime. Areas in green indicate areas where you do not have a lot of crime. Just so you know, areas that are zoned as industrial will usually show a higher amount of crime. So it's important to make sure you are balancing open space and park along with police stations. Because if you have a lot of nice park, but there's a lot of crime, you're not going to get a lot of residents moving in. Just so you know. As I mentioned earlier, there are gifts in this game. Everybody loves gifts. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of those gifts now. Gifts will be indicated by this white box with the question mark in it. And of course, one of the first gifts you get is your own house. That's right, the mayor gets his own house. So go ahead and place it in the center of one of those donut blocks and watch the land values skyrocket. As I've mentioned, there are gifts in SimCity, just like all of the SimCity games. I've already mentioned the mayor's house, but on top of that, you've got police headquarters, which the only prerequisites to get that is to place a certain number of police stations. You can get a train station, again, requiring a certain amount of track to be laid. There's a windmill. There's an expo. There's a casino. Or if you want, there's an amusement park. The choice is yours, but you can get both. There's a fountain. There are landfills. Once you start running out of room, you'll use the landfill to fill in some of those spaces that were previously occupied by water. A scale model of the city, which is basically useless. A park, large city park. A library. A zoo. And a Mario statue. The best thing to do with any of the gifts you get is to save a spot in the middle of one of your donut blocks and place that item in the center. Once you do, you will see the property values around it go up, and your population will boom.
Run! It's Godzilla! It looks like Godzilla, but due to international copyright laws, it's not. Still, we should run like it is Godzilla! Though it isn't.
Of course, there are disasters in this game. I always turn them off because they're kind of a pain. You get attacked by Bowser, there's tornadoes, earthquakes, fires, a plane crash, etc. But if you like rebuilding, then go ahead and leave them on. Good luck. So what is the objective of SimCity on the Super Nintendo? Well, once you reach 500,000 citizens, you become a megalopolis, and that's pretty much the end of the game. Or is it? No. That's the goal. But even once you achieve it, the game doesn't end. It just keeps going and going and going. Like most sim games. You're going to find, though, that you are your own worst enemy. You're going to find that you are going to destroy entire areas, and you're going to rebuild them bigger and better. You're going to adjust the taxes so that you can make money. Then you're going to drop them down again because all your citizens moved out. It's just the ebb and flow that is SimCity. So with patience, determination, and grit, you too can reach that level of becoming a legendary mayor. For the classic console experience and ROM with a View, this is Emmett. Happy gaming, everybody.